What's up everybody, 40 the Broadway saying here, and welcome back again to my YouTube channel where I'm going to be continuing my early weapon build video series for each of the 9 characters that are going to be coming out on the debut of Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis. This is intended to give you guys an idea of some weapon combinations for these characters. That way you guys have something to go off of if you're going to be using any of these characters in your main party. We did Cloud on the first video, and the second video I'm going to be doing Barrett since he is the second character that you get. So without further ado, let's go ahead and just get right into it. I'm going to start off with this AOE damage dealer mob clearing build. This is going to come from his flame projector plus micro laser. Both of these weapons will grant him access to 2 elements in fire and ice. If you have both of these weapons equipped, he is going to be getting a boost to his magic attack via the support materia, and this can go all the way up to an additional 100% magic attack. So this makes Barrett an amazing AOE damage dealer in terms of the magic attack stat. Again, both of these weapons have fantastic AoE damage and are great for mob clearing, and it also makes him a solid secondary DPS build because let's say you got your main DPS, for example. I know a lot of you are probably going to use Cloud and build him to be your main damage dealer, but if you have Barrett there dealing constant AoE damage, that can definitely be very helpful, especially for boss fights where there's more than one boss. So Barrett is dealing all that damage, and then your main damage dealer is there nuking each boss one at a time. So this is going to be my AoE damage dealer and mob clearing build. The second build that I have for him is a utility AoE damage dealer, and the weapons that I chose for this are going to be his W machine and his enemy launcher. So that W machine gives him access to one of the 2 cheapest costing skills with a very useful defense down debuff. That skill only costs 2 ATB bars, so it's very efficient and it's very useful, and it effectively allows Barrett to constantly apply that defense down debuff because the skill is so cheap, which allows your party to capitalize on dealing more damage to enemy targets. The support materia that he'll be getting from both of these weapons gives him up to an additional 110% physical attack. And the enemy launcher weapon has an AoE physical attack, which is a very solid option. So he's still able to deal damage, also while providing offensive support with that debuff from that very, very cheap skill. Honestly, with the 3 builds that I'm going to be discussing, this is probably my favorite because it still gives Barrett a damage dealing option. And on top of that, he's already helping your party deal more damage with that cheap costing skill and that defense down debuff. And the defense down debuff for this build lasts 10 seconds. The duration of that debuff is 10 seconds long, so you have plenty of time to take advantage of that and to just constantly reapply it because the skill is so cheap. And finally, my third build for Barrett is going to be an offensive and defensive support. So we're going to build Barrett purely as a support with this one. We're going to go with the W machine again, and this time we're going to throw in the assault gun. So he's fully supporting your offense with his defense down debuff, making enemies squishier, and he's also supporting your party's defense with his AoE defense up and HP heals to his allies, and that's coming from his assault gun. So Barrett can effectively act as a pure support with this build. Something that I do have to note is that if you're going to use this build, his damage output is going to be far lower, so you want to make sure to really run some strong DPS if you're going to be considering this build. But this is going to give you like a creative idea to run him as a support. That way you have access to a debuff and also a very powerful buff for your parties from the defensive side of the game. Alright guys, well this is going to go ahead and conclude my early weapon build for Barrett. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comments section. I'd love to see your comments on the video. Stay tuned for my next one, and stay blessed everybody.